Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Tuesday to you. It is June 11th, 2024. If you didn't get a chance to, I don't know. You'll see today that I'm posting two messages. This is the second. I've already posted, especially by the time you see this, I've already posted the first one, which was actually recorded yesterday on the 10th, as I shared in the video. But I had some I thought they were minor, but it turns out that they're actually a bit more severe than I had anticipated. Wi-Fi issues that have been temporarily fixed for the time being, but something that actually is of like an upgraded concern, so much so that I have to have a second repair team coming out tomorrow. So I'm saying that to say yesterday I got an interruption by my internet service calling to confirm my appointment today. And I tried to wait it out as long as I could, but I'm actually expecting another call to confirm an appointment for tomorrow. So I apologize for yesterday's interruption. How rude of me, but the reason I let the camera roll is because I don't really have the storage right now to copy and paste and edit and all that and save it as another file. Like, my space is very limited in this phone, so I had to just kind of let it rock out. So I'm sorry for that. And if I get interrupted again today, I'm gonna have to take the call because I do not want to miss the opportunity to have my services fixed properly. Okay, so I can keep on serving you guys. That's what it really comes down to. Otherwise, who cares if I can't watch this or that, or who cares that my TV doesn't, it was so funny yesterday because, I have a smart TV and, it's like everything works on Wi-Fi now. Even this phone, it only works in Wi-Fi, which is why I can record, but if I don't have Wi-Fi, I can't post. And I could have used my hotspot on my other phone, which I actually tried to do, but it was taking up too much data. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna wait. But I was really like reflecting with my son, who of course his world just completely stops because he can't play his games, he can't play on my phone, everything is just, we were just in a retro world yesterday playing Uno and anything else we could do to pass the time. But chit-chatting to say, also to add to that list, and I was just reflecting on how dependent life has become on Wi-Fi and on technology in such a small and primitive way as, the TV. Once upon a time, you could turn the TV on and you may only get a few channels out the deal to click around to, but at least you could watch something, but now these TVs, it's like if you don't have some type of streaming service or, some type of app, you ain't watching nothing. And then on top of that, if you don't have Wi-Fi, you're not watching any of it anyway. So it was just quite interesting. But anyway, what it did do is it allowed for some much needed meditation time and quiet time and moments without distraction and pure connection between myself and my son, and you can't really beat that. So as much as I'm happy that it's up and running, I was also grateful for the day. So yeah, let's see what we got. Wow, okay. Ace of Wands, I almost cut it one more time. Ace of Wands, Definitely talk about power. The ultimate power source here with the Ace of Wands, or new inspiration, upgrades, advancements, and breakthrough, eureka type moments, passion in its purest form, energy, power, courage, confidence, all of that is in the Ace of Wands. Definitely an emphasis on a new opportunity to expand, but a high level, because you could have the Page of Wands, but this is the Ace of Wands, so it's something that is major and it has great a great turnaround potential, advancement potential, I guess is what I mean to say. So it could be a new job, it could be a new idea, it could be fresh energy, even like to feel revived and energized to put new energy toward an old project, or or to look at something or approach something in a new way. Emphasis on new though, something fresh or something advanced. All right, and then we got the Knight of Swords here. So somebody is, oh, okay. So somebody's holding on to, somebody's trying to control power that doesn't belong to them, or trying to monopolize control over a power source that they feel somehow entitled to. That's what I'm getting here. Like maybe something they had their hands on. Oh, okay, because it brings a lot of money. So somebody's trying to control a family or a family fortune. They're either trying to control it, hold it back, or somehow attack the advancement of a legacy to keep it from gaining more power or more influence. So this literally could be like someone that is representative of this family or a part of this family, or a whole family, or a whole legacy that someone is rageful and vengeful against because of the power potential or the advancement potential, the influence and power that a legacy upholds. Yeah, keep it from moving forward. And what's that? Oh, the King of Wands. Yeah, this is against someone that is a part of a legacy, or someone that is like maybe the beneficiary of a dynasty, or some pronounced descendant of it, like a golden child, so to speak. But it doesn't have to be so fantastical, but someone has been appointed, anointed, selected, or maybe even suggested as the heir of a dynasty or the leader of a legacy, of which they may or may not even know, is what I'm getting here. Because the King of Wands is looking this way. It's like they have some awareness about their power and influence, but in the way that it may be revered as a threat, so much so that it is provoking attack, they may not even be focused on that. Like, say if it's a matter of an inheritance in the physical form, or hella gifts that somebody is next in line, like heir to a throne or heir to inherit a certain fortune energetically, talent, abilities, favor even. It certainly isn't limited to material prosperity here. These are tools and resources, energies, assets that would help someone really gain leverage in life, like to push to further advance their affluence and perhaps influence. And that's what some energy is resistant to and maybe competing for. Yeah, interesting. All right, I'm gonna take these out and then we'll pull some cards. Wow. With the Devil card here, that could be fear, limitation, contracts, bindings. What is that? What's the Devil speaking to after the King of Wands? It's like maybe somebody is being intentionally, or there is a motivation to keep someone distracted, like some type of diversion being created here, or at least that's the intention. Whether or not it's successful is another thing, but remember I said it's like somebody's not even looking in that direction. Well, maybe because their attention is being diverted to some other distraction that would keep them from, oh man, oh, I hope not, that keeps somebody from being in the energetic frequency to receive this transfer of energy or transfer of wealth. Maybe that could even be something that, or the intention is for there to be such a distraction that it would hold somebody back from receiving this upgrade or this advancement, this promotion, this breakthrough, whatever it is. There's some great effort to create like division between whomever it is, whomever it is assigned to, which would ultimately leave it open for grabs, or at least in this case, usually in an energy such as this, somebody would just rather not see somebody else have it, even if they can't have it. They just rather be able to say, you can't have it either, if nothing else. Let me see. Wow. And the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Cups. Ooh. It's all these ladies. Maybe distraction with women? Oh no. Yeah, trying to draw a King of Wands back to his lowest frequency, which would be to be a bit lustful and untempered, undisciplined, lacking discipline and lacking devotion. And that in itself is like, okay, do your thing, but someone has to match this frequency. Like, you can't just be out here doing anything and expect to receive a transmission such as the Ace of Wands with ease. You know, you kind of, when you have too many things going on in your energy, it's hard to really receive a transfer from a supreme source, because there's like too much interference. That's what it is. Trying to create interference in somebody's auric field. So it could practically speaking just be so much of a distraction with somebody literally looking in the wrong places to satisfy their desires, that they miss an optimum opportunity to advance in a way that would bring them total prosperity, not just immediate gratification with the Four of Pentacles, where they still gotta kind of like conserve and reserve and penny pinch. And you know, it literally could be somebody that in this frequency with the King of Wands, like partying, or like I said, distracted lustfully, maybe not with actual women, but maybe just diffusing their energy and attention on too many different things and not singularly focused. Yeah, like working too hard to keep their passion aroused, so to speak. It could be literal, but it could be figurative, when there could be just one thing that they could invest all of their energy and time into and actually end up working much smarter than harder, and it'd be a much greater return on their investment. It's like somebody doesn't want someone to really connect with the inspiration that would advance them, you know, exponentially. First of all, because they're probably jealous because they don't have that inspiration, or they feel like they should have it because there's, you know, the jealousy and envy aspect of it all. But more importantly, if nothing else, like I said, some energies, and this could be general, it doesn't have to be like I'm saying it as if him, her, whatever, but some energy just doesn't want to see another advance to a level of total security and stability as it would be in this spread here. You know, because it's just hard to watch if it ain't you, unfortunately, for some folks, particularly that may be in a lower frequency energy. Some people don't want to see others do better than them, or at least not before they get to a certain level of achievement. But what else is new, right? We know that. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Wow, look at this. The Three of Cups. So it's even more in store than money here. We got, I'm sorry, the Three of Cups. The Ten of Cups. We got happiness on the line. Yeah, exactly. Because somebody doesn't, it's like for somebody to have the opportunity to be powerful, influential, inspirational, affluent, prosperous, successful, and happy. Like, what? Over somebody's dead body. Not really, that's not what this card is. But with the Seven of Wands, it's like somebody, as in particularly the King of Wands here, may have more enemies than he even realizes. Or his success rate may have made enemies out of those that would otherwise perhaps want to be close to him or that are close to him, as in family here with the Ten of Cups, or close friends, people that you would expect to be on your side. Hell, people that perhaps, as a King of Wands who is very protective, you would, actually be motivated to work for or cover, or be inspired to do what you do on account of the advancement of the people that you love. And sometimes that can be the very same folks that will push back and resist your efforts, intentionally and otherwise, because we know it's not all linear, I guess is the word. But yeah, this is the energy of needing to kind of protect your point of view, your position, against anyone, more or less, that would pose themselves to be a threat. And unfortunately, sometimes that can be people close. The Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. For somebody, it could be a close friend. It's a lot of masculine energy, even with the Ace of Wands. So for a masculine, it really literally is given like homeboy vibes, or your best friend turned arch nemesis or something like that. I don't know. Maybe they always were an enemy. Of course, it doesn't have to be limited to gender, because we all know exactly how feminists can be. But yeah, it could even be a childhood friend, somebody that's known you almost as long as you've known you, that has observed your growth and evolution from a young age. Maybe has always even seen your potential, but still somehow feels like you don't deserve it, or they just wish it was them. Like they should have the opportunity. Some people really do feel like they can do you better than you, or they can do more with what you have than what you do. Like, man, if I had that skill, if I had that talent, or think about it with wand energy, if I was that handsome or that beautiful, that charismatic, that confident, that bold, that fearless, whatever it is that they see that you have embodied for a long time. Let's just say powerful. If I was that powerful, because that's what somebody literally is revered to have had power since they were a child. And this may have been someone that's been trying to hold someone back since they were a child, to keep them from the inevitable. And it was like, you may have been able to be distracted for quite a bit of time, even through some of the years of your maturation, But one thing that has always followed is that power. Like, you could never be stripped of your power force, even if you may have been distracted, or there may have been a diversion off your path every now and again. It's like you still have maintained that frequency of force that you were born. Like, somebody literally draws resistance and jealousy on account of things, gifts, talents, privileges, favor, maybe even lineage that they were born into, that they can't even help it. You know, like with fire energy, it's just like that natural charisma. Somebody that walks into the room and it's like, hey, so-and-so's here type of energy. You know, it's nothing. Yeah, you might be a good time, you know, or have been proven to be a good time in experiences past, but it's just something. And it's not limited to you having to be a fire sign, because everybody has some fire in their chart at some point. But it's just a natural, in this case, it's about someone just having a natural something special about them, that even when they didn't necessarily recognize it about themselves, it was undeniable. And it's always been undeniable. It's only grown with time, and it's only presenting itself to have the potential to be like like something you can't, like, uncontainable, or just, you know, irrefutable for sure. Imagine this Ace of Wands against this Knight of Swords. What's he going to do against that level of power? You know, so it's something here about that. What's on the bottom? Damn, yeah. People be sick at night, or have been, just at the sheer thought of somebody advancing. Wow, that's what this Nine of Swords is. It's like somebody literally loses sleep over the potential of creativity and success that someone else has. Imagine that. Imagine that. That they stay up, or they exert a great deal of mental energy trying to think of ways to stop and block somebody, or to hold someone back. And with Nine Swords, like I said, it's somebody that's been in your force field for a long time. They've watched you, they've studied you, they observed your success rates, they've observed your failures, they see how you tick, they know your triggers, they, you know, wow. And they had a method to their madness of how to keep you distracted, to keep you off your path, or to keep you in a like almost a scarce or survival state of mentality. But it's like, no matter what they implemented, whatever plan of action they implemented, somehow you still always thrive. Even in small ways, you're never quite held back to the point of at least their satisfaction. Like, somebody will want you down and out, down for the count. And every time you advance to some new level, or like you reinvent yourself, because that's what fire energy can do. It's like, it's transformative, you know, it's alchemical. So you could start over from square one here at the Page of Wands and still end up right on the track to where you were always meant to be, because it's somebody's destiny. Like I said, it's built in, it's inherent, it's inherited, it's innate for someone to be successful and to be happy. You can't buy that. You certainly can't steal it. But people have done their darndest to do so, and also to block it. And to their surprise, it's a daunting task. Imagine 9 swords, that's almost at the 10. Like somebody spent an excessive amount of energy on something that ultimately wasn't even, what's this? I just want to see. Yeah, 2 of swords, a block. Like you can't, that they still couldn't pierce through. They still couldn't change with their best effort. Because you can't change people's destinies, even though there's been a lot of illusion out here about the fact that you can. 2 of Cups. Yeah, somebody's contractually bound to prosperity and happiness as long as they stay in commitment with themselves, is what I'm getting here. But it also could speak to the potential of prosperity through relationships. So it could even be somebody jealous of how someone, speaking to the charismatic trait and characteristic, like how good someone is with people, just like naturally charming and naturally people person. You know, there's a word I'm looking for. I'm not quite finding it, but yeah, like that could be a thing too. That contracts and commitments just kind of find their way to you, more or less, good, bad, and indifferent. Because that's the thing, like when you are super charismatic, you also got to be mindful of not entangling yourself with the wrong energy, because everybody wants to connect, you know, or many people do. So you never be hard up for a date or for a potential collaboration to co-create or whatever, but discernment is key rather than being impulsive. And usually that's where fire signs learn by trial and error because generally they'll just jump out, and if it looks good, it feels good, it seems prosperous, it comes with maturity to actually take a pause for the cause and say, you know, like, how does this fit into my purpose? You know, how does this align with my purest passion, or am I just thriving off of the potential I may see for someone else? You know, kind of like segueing through their passion, or even sometimes almost overcompensating for it, if that makes sense. As a fire sign, if you know, or someone that has a lot of fire highly aspected in their charts. You know how it can be. You could get excited just off of somebody else being excited and just want to jump in and bring something to life for people or add value to it. But with time and mastery and self-control and discipline, you learn how to absolutely conserve and reserve your energy, you know, how to be more selective with it. So and I said that earlier, didn't I, with the multiple queens coming up, that somebody maybe was always counting that you would always find distractions in exactly what I just said. Jumping into things, passion first, thinking later, sometimes getting burned in the process. And that would always kind of keep you off the path of what this is more of a love and even spiritually based commitment that, as I said, means that you've kind of vetted where it aligns with the core of you. You know, this is just not, although it could be platonic or intimate, it could even be literally professional, like a contract, but it's still considering the depth of the engagement, whatever it is, not just the surface of it. And that's also, you know, an implication of growth here that may have really get somebody's goat, you know, that you can't really be distracted just flying off the seat of your pants anymore, that you actually have matured enough to really consider all aspects of potential for you. You know, that means that something that female could look amazing, but it doesn't mean that you want to date her or take her home, even though you maybe could, you know, or vice versa for a feminine, that he could be fine as hell, but that doesn't mean you want to give him your number or let him take you out on a date or invite him home after the first date or whatever. You know, it's like a different, so not selectivity, not prejudice, but you get the point. You get the point. That somebody considers what's in alignment for them, what there is spiritual agreement with now. And that is probably what has ultimately continued to elevate somebody to this point of magneticism for these greater, bigger, and better opportunities that someone was trying to keep, you know, a disconnect, you know, trying to keep away, you know, or trying to keep someone away from. But now it's just like somebody's ready, even for love. Or commitment, or is in a mature position in a disciplined position to be devoted to something for an extended period of time, whereas perhaps once in their youth, their fuse was quite short, you know, literally with the Page of Wands. Not only does someone have the enthusiasm to bring to the table and all the other beautiful traits and attributes that people love, they also have the longevity, like the long suffering, so to speak, the commitment, the devotion piece too. Six of Swords. Yeah. That's somebody moving on from where they used to be, probably where, you know, like I said, where people were more comfortable, more or less, with who they were at their own expense and for their own personal benefits. You know, this could be somebody that was even close and literally benefited a great deal off of someone's charisma and character, and, you know, off of their passion. Like I said, could be the homie that loves to go out with you because, you know, you're attractive, you bring a lot of feminine attention, but low-key jealous because you always get the best female, you know, but still, no doubt, at least they're going to get one of the girls in the bunch just because you're kind of that magnet that, you know, pulls all the good vibes into whatever that, you know, whatever force field is you're the nucleus of, you know what I mean? So it's like the energy of like somebody will want to live without you, except that you bring too much benefit for them to completely discard you. So they are in your energy, hoping to kind of displace your advancement just enough to keep you low enough to be of benefit and of value for their gratification, but not advanced enough that you may, you know, ascend out of their orbit, or they ultimately be thrown out of yours, you know, or just primitively speaking, to have to see you win and do better while they stand around and watch, you know, to actually get that beautiful commitment, you know, that where you're on the same page with someone that you feel devoted to and that you are actually happy with and see yourself building a family, and then you two are prosperous and build a dynasty, a legacy, you know, generational wealth together. It's like they'll be happy if you just bouncing from girl to girl and nothing's really that serious, or it's one night stands, or date for a couple months and then I'm bored, move on. It's like that part of you, that part is cool. We could do something with that as far as they're concerned. But this one here, it's like the biggest threat. That's just too, it's like you're escaping their grips, or, you know, their frequency, you know, of vibration to some degree. If you're actually crossing over into some dynamic of life that is calm and peaceful and loving and prosperous and void of struggle, void of confusion, you know, all of that. God forbid. I'm not going to take both of these, but let's see. All right, we got the Eight of Swords. Yeah, that's like mental imprisonment and judgment. This is potentially the energy that they would want to keep you stuck in. Not really knowing your value, not really, you know, like, not really in a position to advance yourself, for the simple fact that you aren't able to really see the energy, your own potential, you know, to see your own power, to be able to just release yourself from this prison. Somebody wanted that, but it's judgment on that. Like I said, you can't stop. You can't really corrupt someone's destiny unless they allow you to. And with the Eight of Swords, that's a voluntary confinement. The moment someone starts to realize who they are, their surroundings, you know, who's really for them and against them, maybe that's the energy, is that somebody didn't want it to actually ever be known how much resistance there actually was around them, or at least how one person really thought of them, or really wished, what one person really wished for them energetically. And it also, I would say, is a two-edged sword, because to me it also speaks to the judgment against any energies that were in that frequency of aggression and possession as well. And that Nine of Swords energy, where they're up sleepless nights trying to think about how to destroy you, or just contemplating about what you have and what you do, and so on and so forth. Like, they've entrapped themselves. And that is the fair judgment for, you know, for their ambitions. So it's like, you don't even really have to worry about it, because it takes care of itself. But it does matter to kind of be keen to what's going on around you now. And I think most people are becoming so, even if it's an enlightening that they wouldn't want to believe, like a best friend, or like a family member, or like somebody that's known you for a long time, or all your life, or maybe has even seen you in a most vulnerable state, you know, and you would think that they would want the best for you, but alas, you discover that they do not. And most of the time it's on account of the fact that they can't really see the best for themselves within their own reach, you know. So usually it's really not so much about you as it is about, you know, their own projections. And the fear with that Devil card of what they may not be able to achieve or manage. Shoot. Yep, here's the Three of Pentacles. Whenever I see the Three of Pentacles, it's always a question about, what are y'all over here chit-chatting about? And it could be about the point of comparisons. It could be gossip. It could be I don't know. Who knows? But to me, it just doubles down on the potential of collusion and collaborations of, like I said, it could be a friend group that you're a part of, right up under this 10 of Cups. And maybe perhaps when you're not there, the discussion is different than when you are. And that could exist in any dynamic of friendships for sure, but to what degree, does it become detrimental and damaging to your own progress, to maintain associations that you can't fully trust yourself in? Once you know, or once you have an idea that that could be the case, some people don't know, but I'm talking about once you start to realize, like, and you can hear it in the things that people say, sometimes in the silence of things that people don't say, when you know a congratulations or a good job or that's what's up is well in order and it's crickets, or even just an inquiry about what you up to, what you doing, what's that new thing you working on, I saw your post the other day, what's that about, whatever, even a question, I can definitely speak to that. Like I had, when I started to open up more spiritually, it's like before when I was just posting, well, even sometimes then too. So it's funny. It's funny with people, but I was gonna say, like, when I was just posting, like, superficial, not holistically, because I've always had some depth to me, even when I was just posting style and beauty shots and things like that on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. It was always deeper than rap to me, deeper than the post. But you get a different level of engagement for that than when you start to get into something more delicate, more intimate, where it was spiritual, and it's, people that can get on the phone with you and talk about a million different things, but they ain't got nothing to say about the last thing that you posted. You know what I mean? They'll talk about the post before that and your outfit. Where'd you go? Da, da, da. But let it be about something deep. It's like nothing. You don't get the same level of engagement. At least that was my experience. And it's to the point where you start to feel the energy of conversations being had about your choices and what you do and, how you are evolving and whether or not people can relate, agree, believe, support, whatever the case may be. It makes an impression on your energetic force field, even when you're strong enough to just kind of dismiss it. Like I said, I'm still reflecting on it in this moment right now, and most of those friends I don't really even have anymore because my auric field has been cleansed a great deal, to that degree, but it's still a thing, that could leave an impression on you, even dull your confidence to continue to express yourself boldly as a King of Wands would do in an Ace of Wands energy, because you don't feel the camaraderie, that you don't feel the support, you don't feel even the consideration. Like I said, if it's just a question, like, people just almost act like you ain't saying nothing or doing nothing. Like good and well you saw that I've been posting X, Y, and Z, and you ain't got nothing to say about that, even if you don't agree or whatever. It's just kind of weird, So anyway, you kind of know who's in your company based off of those cues of how you feel about being you when you're with them and when you're not, is all that I'm ultimately saying. And judgments here still, exactly. Make good judgment calls on who does get to share that space. And again, selective without insecurity, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to this day. whether or not I know for sure the conversations that were had about me or entertained about me when I wasn't present. It matters how I feel and what sensations have been triggered in me to feel comfortable with expressing myself. That's what takes precedence over it all. The hell with what people really say or what they really think or even do. If it's not in alignment with what propels me forward, then I'm only doing myself a disservice by continuing to harbor those connections against my, my sacred will, or for the sake of, well, we've been friends this long, or, not really having the hardcore evidence. And for me, not even never really wanted to ask, because I've always made my support known, and I've always made my opinions, my advice and contribution in communication clear, solicited or unsolicited. And I feel like if I can be that level of a friend for someone, then that's the least that I can expect back. Definitely not crickets. That's a telltale sign right there. Whether you're doing well or not, when people don't have any engagement in the thing that you are pouring the best of yourself into, family or friends, that's a telltale sign of where you stand with them. All right, just a couple more if I can. All these pages. Well, it's only two, but still. We got the Page of Cups. I just feel this is emphasis on people wanting to either revere you small or keep you small. Like, even as you were maturing or growing, that people wouldn't even want to see you that way, or they would want to contribute more to what minimizes you in their eyes or in their perspective than they would want, then they feel comfortable contributing to how you're growing or how you have grown. And it's just deflection. It's a you thing. It's not it's a them thing. It's not a you thing. Meanwhile, they toast to the good life and parties on the sidelines, like I said, maybe toasting with the booze that you pay for. And in that sense, it's like, what I mean by that is sometimes people are connected by their, more or less, by their sentiments toward you. Not much else in common than that, but their feelings. Like, some people have a good time communing and communicating off of what you're doing, what you're not doing, how bad or good you're doing it, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing. Like, that they find more entertainment on that energy, like gossip generally, than they really do on their own, which makes you kind of the source of their synergy. And a good way to deplete that frequency is to eliminate yourself as that source. Trust me, I know by experience. The less people know or have to talk about, because they don't really have a first-hand account or experience anymore, the better. They'll have to imagine ways to put you down or to demean you or gossip about you before they actually have any real information about who you are and what you're doing. So there's that. One more. This reader just is so weird though. It's like, I don't even know what we really talk about, because does it really matter? Not so much when you're the King of Wands with the Ace of Wands and all this other prosperity and abundance at your fingertips. It doesn't really matter what anybody else has to say about it, or what they think about it, or even what they try to do about it. But I guess it's a FYI type of reading for your information. People are haters. FYI, haters gonna hate no matter what you do. Great or small, exactly. And they think that it's unnoticed or undetected, mysterious at best. But it's actually quite evident, even when you don't hear it or see it with your own senses, your own physical senses. You can detect it intuitively. Like I was saying earlier, like, you know when something just doesn't feel right, when you don't quite feel like you're aligned, when you know there's something under the surface that somebody's not quite saying, you know, or there's some psychological distortion here, even manipulation or projection at worst, where people may not want to congratulate you or encourage you, simply to project to you that you're not doing something that they agree with or that they understand, or align with. So in hopes that you actually may stop. Whether they see value or potential in it or not, that's a whole nother layer. But either way, like, you'll know. Intuitively, you know. You know when, I say this all the time, when you're around certain folks and the energy feels strange, or when you leave and your energy feels strange. You know what it means when you think about the potential of getting together with people and it's like, you know, like it almost zaps the life out of you, or you feel like it's an obligation to be around certain energies, but you don't feel any excitement or minimal excitement in comparison and enthusiasm to actually share those spaces. Oh yeah, you know, that's your signs and signals on a spiritual level telling you that something most likely needs to shift so that you can be in a super infused force to magnetize good things. Because what happens is, practically speaking, your force field can be depleted by carrying on these engagements in multiple ways. But in the practical sense, it literally could be people hating and doing things, like I said, to keep you from certain advancements and opportunities, seen or unseen. It happens both ways. Energetically and spiritually speaking, it could be, like I said, people speaking about you or to others about you or over you, like speaking ill will toward you, that, whether you believe it or not, makes an impression on your force field as well, especially when you're unaware, or when you are aware but you continue to ignore. So it all matters. It all matters. And one thing you get to do is to govern your force field with, as iron of a fist as you feel you need to, you know, without apologies, because nobody is going to be responsible for the manifestation of you at your best but you. Even the people that think they mean you well by deflecting, you know, projecting their opinions about you or towards you, you know, like feeling that they would want, you know, they're considering your best interest. Either way you look at it, you can have grace that is, you know, variable to those different considerations. However, it's still up to you to purify your passion as much as you possibly can, because that's your force fuel. That's what you operate from. It's like trying to do life on empty, because you got so many energies around you that, first of all, are siphoning your fuel dry by those different ways, not replenishing much, if any at all, and don't really want to see you fill yourself up either, or be filled up by any other source or force. So it's you have the authority to stay powered up by premium standards, and don't let nobody okay don't let nobody tell you no different. So that means if some certain people, places, things must be retired, released, or you must release or retire yourself from that contract, that agreement, that interaction, so be it. So be it. So be it. Two of Swords, and I ain't got nothing more to say about that. Block. Block, unsubscribe, delete, change the number. And I'm not saying that that's the only way. You know, you can communicate your position if you feel guided to, but I'm just saying you don't have any obligation to do anything any type of way for anybody except for your supreme self. And ain't nobody sacrificing their destiny on account of going along to get along anymore. If you're wise, those days are over. So that's it. That's all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.